have something to say with myself deceased. I don't actually want to be the Essex anymore. That's because there's no such thing as that you would be exploiting myself in the public when the order is the Essex does the killing executions in a prison with deceasement of address ordered by a gun. So, why are gun-toting criminals and gun-toting police officers in uniform, why are they not in a prison firing the address with a gun? Because the threats of all the guns and holsters in police officers' holsters and in their motor vehicles that are marked and in their police departments, police stations, just being in traffic or anywhere when they get out of their motor vehicles. What about the police bicycles or the horses? In Las Vegas, they have both police bicycles and police horses. So what I mean to say is, what happens to that the gun was supposed to fire the address before somebody would ever be shot by a bullet? If you see the gun in public, that is in advance of that you would be shot because the address is not deceased, and it would not be deceased in public. Whose idea was it to have guns in public where it never fires the address of a prison before the gun would ever go off and kill somebody? That means you're trying to kill somebody with the address is still there, but the order is that it has no address before the gunshot ever threatens to give somebody an unclean death. Well, this starts with speech offending, and the guns come after that. But the guns are always in public threatening people who didn't hear the speech offending that made them in public. For example, if you're a police officer wearing a uniform and you have a gun in your holster, you know how you have that gun. But nobody else that you pass in traffic knows anything about you. You're not really in uniform that way. You have a gun on a uniform, and your uniform is not really official that way. The gun is due in a prison because it's threatening to fire the address of the whole building of the prison, the whole compound of the prison, the whole prison camp, to decease the address, to put that out of where the gun would go off, and so that there's prejudice in there, so that if the gun has prejudice to give a death to somebody, they will die among people that would be giving God the death, because you can't just say, I want to die. You can't say that, or I want to kill somebody. You can't say that either, because God has to give the death. And you can't just tell God, now is my time to die. God has to have prejudice that he knows people, for example, you see so many people in public are alive in a huge public. When they die, they have certain conditions for their death. You can't just ask somebody, are you mentally ill? Are you going to kill somebody? Do you have thoughts of suicide? Do you have thoughts of homicide? Do you have thoughts of wanting to kill somebody? That's nothing for you to act on as somebody who is asking somebody who's not yourself. I don't trust you because I don't know what you're thinking. That's so hysterical that you don't have the address deceased before you see a gun in public and make God have all these tensions among people who don't have everything ready for an unclean death. And if you are never going to get one for yourself because you were maliciously waiting for the end of time caused by God just ended alive, and you don't know why, you don't know when, and you were just going to ride it out, there is no reason for you to attack somebody else. I don't know you, I don't trust you, and I don't believe you. I don't know what you're thinking. I'm going to talk to you about yourself and find out what you're thinking. That's hysterical. You don't have the address deceased for the questioning. And that's what I mean about ain't got to tell you what to do, sex offenders. You don't have the address deceased for sexual climax in the presence of an enemy. You don't have the address deceased. You are torturing myself as the Essex in heaven, and right here in this Godhead, it is maximum potency of anger. I'm not going any further down that rabbit hole with you. I'm deceasing the formed world myself, with myself, because you thought I couldn't even tie my own shoes. But I can decease myself and everything beneath myself, and you're going to find out there is nothing above me. When I'm done.